Welcome to a brand new episode of Load In, Load Out, a tour story podcast produced here in Athens, Georgia at the state-of-the-art Kindercore vinyl pressing facility. The focus of our episode? The band The High Divers. They're out on a marathon tour supporting a strong new album for the True Blue label. The record was mixed here in town by Drew Vandenberg at Chase Park Transduction, and we're pressing the record just down the street. So when the band came through town to perform at the Georgia Theater, we couldn't pass up the chance to hang out a bit. Topics of conversation include, but are not limited to, a legal lesson regarding constructive possession from Cash Carter, someone is touring with Jimmy Page, and we've got another wreck story of human tragedy and triumph. Don't worry, they're fine, but here's your general heads up. Cheers!
Hey everybody, I am Ryan.
And I'm Cash.
And this is Load In,
Load Out.
And we are here with the High Divers.
Yeah.
And also
Hannah Wickland.
And what's the
and the Stepping Stones.
Okay, that was all right. Yeah. There you go.
And I'll go ahead and warn people. I've got kind of a cough, so if my voice sounds funny, A, I have a cough, and B, I have a cough drop in my mouth.
Okay, so everybody be listening for the cough drop.
You're going to hear stuff like this,
and the cup full of ice, which is also weird because you have a Coke with ice.
Yeah, it has ice.
God bless America.
Normally, he goes into everywhere he goes. He asks for a Coke with no ice.
Coke with no ice.
And so, yeah.
I just didn't feel like arguing with him this morning.
Fair enough. But now it's our problem. And
I asked for no ice, but they gave me ice, and I just didn't feel like arguing with them.
All right, fine.
Anyway,
so hey, we introduced ourselves. How about we get you guys to introduce yourselves?
All right.
Starting and just your name and who you are, what you do, whatever.
Well, I'm Mary Alice. I am in the High Divers, play the keys, and can we curse?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kicking ass.
Excellent. Excellent. Good job.
You also sing.
I also sing a lot.
And sing lead on some songs as well.
Yes, I do.
All right. Excellent.
My name is Luke, and I
get right up on that. So
I play guitar. You got to kiss the mic.
Yeah.
I play
usually
guitar
better when
and
it's
sing.
in your mouth.
Yeah.
The teeth are closing on the outsides of it.
I play guitar and sing. Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to clip it. There you go.
All right.
My name's Julius, and I play drums for the High Divers.
Excellent.
And I don't sing.
Okay.
But he can.
I could maybe.
Maybe.
I played all the shakers on our record, and Kevin did all the tambourines.
Okay. Cool.
I played some shakers too, though.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you just skipped yourself. You have to. You're
I
on
was trying to keep all the High Divers together.
All right.
Yeah.
What? Sure. Yeah. No. Okay.
But
all right,
now
fair
that
enough.
I'm here, I'm Hannah Wickland.
Okay.
I'm Luke's little sister, but I've got a band called Hannah Wickland and the Stepping Stones, and I'm the lead guitarist and singer.
And y'all are on tour together, right?
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
We
A
are.
sibling rivalry tour.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm Kevin. I play bass in the High Divers and
Cool.
sing a little bit and hold it down.
All right. I'm glad I know exactly how much everybody sings because I was worried that I would
Yeah.
call on someone to sing later and be like, if I called on you, I don't know now if it would work
Yeah.
or not.
And
Maybe
also,
it would, though. You said it, Mark,
we're actually
so.
pressing the record here at Kindercore Vinyl.
We are. Yeah.
Beautiful
It's
thing.
an
Very
awesome,
excited.
awesome
Can't wait.
record.
And you guys are playing at the Georgia Theater tomorrow from
We are.
Yes.
when we're recording this.
Yeah, from when we're
not
recording
tomorrow,
this.
from
Not
when you're
tomorrow
listening
from when
to
you're
this.
listening, right?
Because who
If
knows
you're
when that'll
listening,
be.
we played already, and
Yeah.
it was
Right.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
was
show was
great.
awesome. It was great.
It was awesome.
Man, that
Thank
It's a
you
show.
all
shame that
for
you weren't
That was
there.
one of the best shows I've seen
Yeah.
It
in
was
2018 already. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Critics rave.
That's mine.
Okay, so you guys are siblings, and did you guys both start playing music as kids? Did family play music? How did that happen?
Yeah, we started really early on.
Yeah.
Hannah's dad, my stepdad,
Okay.
is a very musical dude. He fronted a rock band called the Bonzo Brothers that were kind of regionally
Nice.
successful in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he
What
really,
era? Was this 70s or?
Yeah, 80s.
80s.
Yeah,
okay.
80s.
the best era.
Wow. Yeah.
Right when he really got to live that rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah,
So
they're
Yeah.
playing 7 nights a week.
13 nights in a row.
Yeah, they were
Wow.
the it band for a long time. And
He's
yeah.
got stories.
Yeah.
He's
That's
got
awesome.
stories. And he was always really supportive and got us into it, got us lessons early on, and would yell at us to practice.
All the time.
He still
does.
Oh yeah,
Really?
He kicks our ass, but it's always good. He's always
See, I didn't
right.
need to do that. I've got a 14-year-old daughter who kind of plays the drums, but I just kind of let her go in the practice space over there and play drums. But I'm debating on whether I should really be like, no, you got to go play.
Well, no, because every time you do that, then she's like, I hate the drums.
Yeah.
She only likes
You
the
need
drums
to
when
do
you
it a
don't
little
talk
bit.
about
I gotta
them.
say, I'm
bit.
very
It takes a
happy that
little
my
bit.
dad did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so grateful.
He even we played Savannah. One of the first shows of this tour was in Savannah, Georgia, right around where we're from. And Dad walks into the venue, and it's like sound check, and he's just like, "All right, kids, this is what you need to do."
And
He's like, "Don't play that solo like a pussy. You gotta, fucking play it like you mean it, man."
We were running a tune, and then he walked in, and I fucked up because
You got nervous because he was there?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That used to be my tell. My mom
That's
would come
funny.
to some shows, and my dad was at every show with me. We did like over 1,000 together.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
that was my tell. I would look at him every time I would make a mistake, but he would always look pissed. He would always, he always delivered a look back. It wasn't like I
man.
looked. It's not like I just found him and he was like, "It's okay."
Yeah, he's like,
no,
"Don't
at
worry."
the end of the show, but I mean, it was.
love.
Tough love, constructive
Yeah.
criticism, and that is
And
definitely.
he ran sound and did all the lights
Oh,
and
geez.
set up everything for Hannah and my early bands with Kevin
Yeah. Wow.
forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just like loves music more than anybody I think I've ever met.
And it was good, though. Like, it was a good
It was
thing
great.
overall.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it
he was not-
a
That's awesome.
stage parent.
No.
Weird thing.
He's a cool
totally
guy.
supportive
That's
and always really good criticisms that everybody needed to hear. Like,
Right.
end the song, damn it!
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
let it just fizzle out. You know?
Beginnings and endings.
Yeah.
He taught us that early on. He was literally like our coach.
That's awesome.
So basically, he doesn't like my morning jacket then.
He doesn't like really much
Probably.
from.
Because I love that
past the
band, but they do
90s.
not know how to end a fucking song.
It just goes into the next
It just
song.
goes and goes and goes.
Yeah.
It's
You're
like,
which
all right, this
song
song
is
should have
this?
ended like 2 minutes ago. Great song, but goddamn, keep going.
So when did you guys both start bands around the same time? Like, what's the age difference between y'all?
7 years.
Okay.
7 long years.
Long years.
Those 7 years used to be a lot bigger.
I bet
than
it
they are
seemed,
now.
yeah.
What's
yeah.
the difference between you and Matt?
10 years.
Okay.
Or 9 years. 9 years, yeah.
You
and
get it.
we play music together. And yeah, he's 9 years younger than me. And so for a long time, he was just like my baby brother. And then he was like the best drummer that I'd played with. So it was like,
Nice.
okay.
That's awesome.
Now,
My brother
It's
and I
you all the
play in
time.
bands together too, but he's only 20 months older than me.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
We're both drummers, so I had to
Irish
switch to
twin.
guitar and play guitar terribly in our band.
I know how that
You
goes.
guys should have learned different instruments.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those situations where he bought the drum set before I could drive, and I sat there and learned to play the drums while he was working to pay them off.
Oh, nice.
So I learned how to play drums before him.
Very nice.
He's always held that against me. But so then we wanted to be in a band together, and the only band we could be in together was like a punky garage band because it's 1-4-5s. I can play 1-4-5s, but I can't play anything other than that, you know. So that's the kind of band we're in together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super
Okay.
garage, want to be the Mummies. band, yeah.
So you guys started around the same time though? Like I was reading
Yeah.
that you started doing it when you were like really young, right?
Yeah, I started my band when I was 8. We started playing shows when I was 9.
Wow.
So I started that, and Luke had already had the band The Gnomes, though. He had started that band. I remember when I was like
Sick band.
6. Yeah, they were sick, man. I was like 5 or 6, and they would play at this bar right around the corner from us. They were playing there like every Friday
Wow.
when they were like 12 and 13, and we still have
Where
a
was
video.
We grew up on Hilton Head Island.
Wow.
Okay.
Lots of
Gnome sounds
opportunities.
familiar.
The Gnomes,
Yeah.
I can assure you it's probably not our
Okay.
band that you're thinking
You're
of.
probably just thinking
I don't know.
of
They
the
tore
little-
it
I was gonna say you've heard of the
They
little
tore it up
creatures,
at
right?
Wingfest.
In
Well, I just thought maybe
backyards.
if we toured through there, you guys might have played with one of our bands at one point.
Really?
Possibly.
Past?
Maybe.
One of the trends of this is that Cash has false memories.
Yes.
And he'll take you by the hand and walk you all the way down a long hall to tell you about the memory, and then you're just like, wait, what's happening? So it's okay.
I think there's like multiple bands called the Gnomes, but maybe I don't think we really ever played a show.
Okay.
Hilton Head was.
We didn't tour extensively. We kind of did like Wild Wings things and played some private parties. And
Okay.
Yeah,
We were like
it was
we were like a
16.
Led Zeppelin
Yeah.
cover band.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
like
Okay.
teenage.
But maybe I don't
band
know.
kids.
I can't remember anything.
They were awesome. Never,
It was just that time where you wandered into somebody's backyard and it was filled,
Yeah, totally.
filled with gnomes.
Yes.
You thought you played
on
with a band called the
shrooms?
Gnomes.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
That might have.
That was just it. Yeah. But so now forward to recently, and the High Divers is your project that you have going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I read that there was a notable traffic incident.
Yeah.
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 Minor.
We got destroyed by a
minor
semi.
traffic.
Yeah. You feel
That's my
okay
biggest
talking
nightmare.
about that, or
I've been in 2 accidents
Oh, yeah.
with semis.
Oh, yeah, we
I
talked
cannot
about
stand.
You've been in 2?
In 2, I can't stand being around semis on the
They're
road.
awful.
They're so
They used to be
scary.
the knights of the road, and now they're just all assholes.
Now they're the
Yeah.
Hulks of the
I
road. The
think they're
bullies
all,
just
like,
slam everybody
eating
around.
Yeah.
Sandwiches or something.
and
they're
it's
all-
weird too because like we never. I mean, I've never in
watching
my life had
movies.
any reason to deal with trucking except for now that we do this and run a factory, and now like we're actually dealing with truckers and trucking all the time because that's how we get our supplies and stuff, and
Yeah.
how we got all the equipment. It's a very weird industry.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's very different than like standard shipping. You would think like, oh, okay, FedEx, whatever, give me a tracking number and I'll find it.
Right.
And like with trucking, it's like, oh, it left California a few days ago. It's supposed to get to you in the next 3 days.
I mean, it's
And
Maybe
someone
longer.
gets here and they're like, you assume they've been driving trucks their whole life. It's like, oh no, this is my first run.
Yeah,
It's like,
Exactly.
what?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Or
this
well, I
is-
got this here, but I can't get it off the truck. So can you guys get it off the truck?
Right.
It's like,
Like one truck driver didn't put his brakes on, almost crushed
yeah,
one of our friends
Yes.
between the truck and the
the
thing.
forklift fell off
Oh, you
off
did,
the
man.
dock
You
when
didn't-
he started.
Oh, you
back.
got to put the brakes on.
Yeah, he didn't put the parking
Yeah,
brakes
weird,
on,
huh?
and so the forklift was driving onto the semi, and when it did, it pushed the semi out, and so the forklift's wheels went out and got stuck between the truck.
And then the truck started to back up. 'Cause
Right,
I
and
was
so
like,
the
oh,
guy
I went
jumped
forward, I
off
should
the
back up now.
forklift onto the ground between the truck and the space, and then all of a sudden the truck started coming back at him.
Oh.
Well, that doesn't give me any hope for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little
Driving around
appetizer.
semi-
Well,
trucks.
and the whole industry is built around how quickly can you get
Yeah.
this there?
Right.
How unsafe can you
Exactly.
drive?
Yeah, sleep
Yeah.
deprivation and
Yeah.
yeah.
We've seen truckers like watching movies on their phones.
We see them
Yeah.
watching like Finding Nemo on their iPad and
Yeah.
shit. You know.
Which is a good movie.
Are you a fire?
This week, we'd like to shine a little light and love on Girls Rock Athens. Girls Rock Athens is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering girls, women, trans, and non-binary folks of all backgrounds and abilities through music education, creation, and performance. They provide leadership opportunities, build self-esteem, and provide people of marginalized genders with a safe place to express themselves. Go to girlsrockathensga.org to learn more, donate, or volunteer. That web address again is girlsrockathensga.org.
He knows her so well, he whispers in her ear. Everything she wants.
With the van, you can totally see in.
entertained.
we beep at people 30 times a day easy when we're driving. 5-hour drive average. I lay on the horn at people that are texting now
Yeah.
because it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually nonchalantly just look away like.
And we're in a
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
nobody
They're
gets
like,
mad. There's been
dude.
like 3 people that have been like, "What? Yeah, I'm texting, whatever."
No, they're embarrassed.
we got
They're
this.
usually embarrassed.
People are like,
They
"Oh, God,
they
you saw
slowly
me."
put their phone down and like, act like they weren't doing anything.
We
Just roll the window down and throw it out the window and keep
Because people
driving.
just literally just lay on the phone for like 10 to 15.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if they were like this and all of a sudden, ah! Threw their phone out the window.
They want a really loud horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a
train horn.
Yeah, train horn.
Oh, that would
So
be
anyway,
nuts.
what happened with
so
you
tell
guys
us-
with
So
this?
yeah, all of that preamble.
What happened was
Yeah.
What happened was
we were in Arizona on our way to LA that
After
day.
a rousing show,
After a killer show in
the worst show we've ever played.
Every other
Really?
band dropped out, and there was like 3
yeah,
people
we
there.
got to the
Oh,
venue the
no.
night before, and both bands, one of them, they were like, well, the headliner has a kidney stone, and then the other band hasn't really told us if they're coming.
Amateurs. I played
And
through
we
kidney
were like,
stones a bunch
well,
of
we
times.
already, we already loaded in. We'll play the fucking show, all right. And then next morning we're like, all right, we're heading to LA. We had a lot of cool. We were actually supposed to be on Adam Carolla's podcast that morning. That was what we were on our way to. And we had just gone to the gas station, and this semi truck just T-boned us at a light.
Oh my god!
So it wasn't even on the highway.
Driving.
No. It was off.
We were
off the highway.
He was in the turn lane, and we were going through.
I think he was doing a U-turn or something.
Yeah, and he was like, I think he was doing a U-turn or something because he had to have been looking at the back of his trailer to make sure it wasn't sticking out because there's no way he wouldn't have seen us.
Because you were
so
right
he's like inching out and inching out, and everybody's like, "Is he gonna
we were like, what
go?
Is it?
Like, there's no way he doesn't see us." And then he gassed
it
right into us.
He just said he didn't see us. I don't know.
It flipped our van over, and we were all eating burritos.
Except for me, I'd already eaten mine.
Did you get faces full of burritos?
Yeah, no, literally. After the van was turned over, we
finished eating your burritos.
No, we went back in the salvage yard to get all of our stuff out of the van. And my burrito was just stuck into the windshield. Like, just perfectly.
Were you in the passenger seat?
Literally,
I was in the passenger seat.
Like in the windshield, like halfway in, halfway out?
Yeah, it was through the windshield.
So, like, what would have happened if you'd eaten that thing if it can go through a window?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll never know.
I found mine in the back seat.
Say right before the wreck, he was like, "This burrito sucks."
Famous last
words. He got so pissed he threw it through the window.
Yeah. If I wouldn't have had my seatbelt on, that would have been the last thing I ever said.
Oh, definitely.
Oh man.
So, like, what kind of injuries did any of you sustain?
My hip was broken.
Oh my god.
And your arm is
tore
up.
Torn open.
32 stitches.
Had some plastic surgery.
I got my face. I have these scars on my face.
Man.
Either my sunglasses, like it was so close to my eye.
Yeah.
They thought like my eye was gonna be messed up, and they pulled a big shard of glass.
Our friend that plays trumpet with us, he occasionally tours with us. He had a huge piece of glass like coming out of his neck.
Oh,
so
and he also like fractured his foot.
Ooh.
He looked the worst. He had the most road burn.
Julius got knocked out. We thought he was dead because we did the roll call. We're just like, "Is everybody okay?"
And he
didn't answer. And we're just like, "Oh shit!" And all of our hearts dropped. And then Kevin smacked him.
He's like, "All right,
fine. What the hell?"
No, I found that out months later. He was like, "Yeah, I slapped you in the face."
Julius was way more confused than he normally is.
That's so funny. Well, it's just because you guys didn't have any smelling salts on you.
I didn't remember what state I was in.
Well, I didn't know what else to do. Like, he wouldn't wake up. I was like, "Come on, Julie." And like,
I was like, "Come on, Julius, everybody thinks you're dead."
And then our dog was with us too.
Oh yeah.
And then Kevin bit through his lip, and his knee got messed up.
Through the dog's lip? That's not cool.
That's
fucked up.
Kevin bit through his own lip. Kevin sacrificed his body for the dog because he was holding on to the dog.
That was the worst phone call.
Yeah, so you weren't there for that.
So you
I had like 17 missed phone calls from my parents.
So you hear about this.
Oh yeah, I heard
separate
through my dad, and my dad, he just says the kids were in a wreck and starts crying, and so I'm like immediately like obviously you assume the worst, and I'm just
because he didn't tell you whether they were okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You were on tour too.
We were about to play Firefly, and I like my phone and wallet got stolen that weekend, and I was just like, this doesn't even matter. Like I wasn't even mad when it happened. I was like, holy shit, I'm just happy that like they're alive.
That has
so messed up.
That has to change the dynamic not only as a band but as friends to see each other.
Yeah,
that fucked up, like
weird,
your skin hanging off of yourself.
Especially like the 2 days after in a hotel room when we were all.
It was like a heroin den.
Oh god, we all paid medicine just like laying in a hotel.
We were just like,
and then,
what's up, guys?
And you didn't have anybody that was okay to take care of you.
No,
did
we
you?
were all. I mean, Luke was probably the least like sore.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
We were all really. I couldn't even walk.
Dude, looking back on it, it was so funny because like Luke was so jacked up because like he didn't get knocked out or like super severely injured besides like his face. So like I got knocked out. So like every 30 minutes that night, like Luke's like,
yeah,
are you all right? He like wakes me up. And I'm like,
still alive?
And
I was just waking everybody up.
Yeah.
I had so much adrenaline after that happened. I could
It was really hard to go to sleep if if it hadn't been for pain medicine, I don't think I would.
And I knew in the moment, I was like so calm after the wreck. I was like, oh yeah, we're fine. Everything's good. Just get out of the van before it catches on fire.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just
we all know how this works. It got hit. It's about to explode. Right.
Yeah.
It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Lifting people out, but then in my brain, I was like, you're gonna have to deal with this shit later.
Yeah.
There
will be consequences.
I think the worst part is afterwards. Well, the healing process and also like the insurance crap.
And the universe was like, hey, what's the thing you would really love to do the least right now? Do you want to get in a big box truck and drive all your shitty equipment home for 32 hours?
So you had to drive straight home.
So they all flew home. And then me and Jorge volunteered to get in the van with me, and we just trucked it back home with all of our broken gear.
Yeah, so that was the next thing I was going to ask. Everybody's hands were okay, right? So
my hands
relearn their instruments or anything, or but
it was
equipment.
So you had the burrito, and the airbag.
It's that horrible
that
combination.
burrito, man. That burrito saved your life.
It's the burrito airbag combination.
Yeah.
Like, airbags work great if there isn't a burrito involved, but the only thing that can stop them is a burrito.
Yeah.
So that.
Well, we're glad that you had the accident before you came here, because we've had what band was it?
Oh shit, Deer Hoof.
Yeah. Oh, dude, all of them.
They got
Deer
an
Hoof
accident
came
right
and they
after
did the
were on
podcast and
Because
talked
they were
about
like,
how
we've never been in an accident.
never had any problems on the road, never been pulled over, never nothing.
man.
2 days later, they got to a van accident.
Shit, are they alright?
They're
they
fine.
were fine. Yeah,
good.
they were in a minivan and it got the wheel got clipped, so like their wheel was just kind of they had to get a back axle or whatever. They were fine though, but
It's scary though.
whatever. Yeah,
that's why we get so pissed off when we see people texting now, because we take it so personally.
Yeah,
right.
And we're in a Sprinter now, so I can see into everybody's
Oh yeah,
cars.
you're above everybody pretty much.
I see
Yeah.
what you guys are doing.
Wow.
It just
We're
freaks me
watching.
out.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the automation.
so I need to make sure if I'm driving by you guys, I put my pants back on. Don't drive pantless anymore.
Just so you all know, we're always watching.
They're always
you
high drivers
think
are
you can
always
do stuff in your car, but there's always a band watching you.
Yeah,
There is.
I will
They're
say that
everywhere.
I've toured for 20 plus years. I've never gotten into it. We've gotten pulled over, we've gotten searched, we've gotten everything else, but I've never gotten into an accident.
Good.
You should knock on wood right
Keep
now.
it that way.
Yeah, knock on something.
We almost saw in the middle of the night in the desert once. We were driving and I was asleep on one of the back benches of the van, and I woke up with like the where they clip into the floor, where the big bench seats clip into the floor, with one of those. Like I got clobbered by it, and I was like, what? And the driver had fallen asleep obviously, but insisted that he didn't, and he had seen a black dog in the road. And so he kept arguing with us when we were like, oh my God, you almost killed us. And he's like, I didn't fall asleep. There was a black dog in the road. I swear. There was a black dog. I had to slam on the brakes. And we were like,
Sure.
And then he wrote the song Black Dog.
yeah, exactly. That was about when I toured with Jimmy Page. It was cool. It was
That
weird.
was Sunshine Fix, right?
Yeah. No, that was the agenda.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Joseph Plunkett, our driver, who made us listen to the Red House Painters in the middle of the night. Like, so he'd be like, okay, somebody sit with me in the front seat. You can't fall asleep. And then he'd put, like, Woody Guthrie on. Or the Red House Painters. Or the Woody Guthrie audiobook was also another favorite of his to listen to. And so he'd be like, you got to stay up. And you got to sit up here with me. And then he'd put on something that was just like purposely trying to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
On the time-
There's a little lullaby.
The time I met Brian,
exactly,
like 10 years before we re-met, and after re-meeting, we figured out that we had played a show together on that tour.
Yeah,
with Joseph Plunkett.
So you guys are okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we were fine. Yeah. No. I mean, it wasn't an actual accident. There was nothing to hit. He just slammed on the brakes because he clearly fell asleep. But actually, he owns a popular bar in Nashville now called, what is it called?
I don't
Black
remember.
Dog.
Called Black Dog. Exactly. Full circle.
It's a good. They serve sandwiches there, and they're really good.
Dukes.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Dukes.
I love that place.
So
Damn,
Joseph, the guy who owns that place,
man.
was the driver for the
Wow.
agenda. He was straight edge, and we were all horrible drunks. And so it was great because he was like, I'll drive you around the country for your tour. And we were like, okay.
And now he owns a bar.
Yeah, he's not straight edge anymore.
That place rules.
Yeah.
No. Actually, I was with him on his 21st birthday when he decided to stop being straight edge. And
That's a very convenient time to stop being straight edge.
I know. I thought so too. And I looked over in the corner, and he was laying with his body laid out straight and his head up against the wall. So he was like propped up like this with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a cigarette in his mouth. And I was like, guess you're not straight edge anymore.
I'm straight edge until I'm 21.
Yeah.
Until I can legally drink, I'm straight edge.
Hannah's gonna be
I just can't break the
21
law.
soon.
Hannah's
You're
straight
not
edge.
21.
And you're straight edge
Yeah,
right now, right?
she's
Yeah.
Yes.
Straight edge.
Yeah,
Very.
totally.
Definitely.
We're celebrating in Vegas.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, we're playing there like 5 days after.
Wow.
It's gonna be pretty.
It's gonna be crazy,
pretty big
man.
party.
That's pretty exciting.
If anyone wants to fly out,
Yeah.
and party with
We're
us.
playing Mandalay Bay.
Oh.
Really? Okay, cool. You guys have any tigers in the act or anything?
Yeah.
Or flaming hoops to jump through? So did your instruments survive?
Some
Yeah.
of them.
Some of them?
Some of them did. A lot of them had a lot of damage. I had like a 68 Fender Princeton that just got like crushed in half. All of our stuff fell out of our trailer. Also, when we got hit, when our van was flipping, our trailer was coming over the van.
You had a trailer on it.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
a trailer.
Shit.
So that's why we're like, how did this guy hit us? We're a white van with a giant, white
trailer.
Hard to
Yeah.
miss.
But we hit this poor old woman's car. Our trailer flipped
trailer
over.
smashed
and
her in front of her
it hit her
car.
car.
smashed
Oh,
her
damn.
car, and
Right on the
our
edge.
all of our equipment was on the street. I didn't see it. You're the only one that saw it because you're on the stretcher.
Yeah, when they wheeled me around to the ambulance and I saw our trailer on its side totally crushed and all of our gear was all over the road and all of our t-shirts, everything was just everywhere. I was
And
like,
she was just like,
no!
she got hit, and the
Okay.
first thing she said was like, am I gonna get in trouble? Like, did I hurt anybody?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just
no.
I was
The little
so
lady?
confused.
No,
me.
no.
You were confused. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're like,
I
what
was
hap-
like, how did this happen? Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, it's not your fault.
I
I,
thought-
know that because
yeah.
we were fine. And then she
Yeah.
was like,
You were
"What
stopped
I-"
at a freaking stoplight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, no,
No,
we were
we
see,
had the
we
green.
were
green.
going through, so
Oh, okay.
we had
Yeah.
the right of way, and then he was just doing the like
He was just turning
yielding on
left.
green and trying to turn left. So he turned right into us and
Yeah.
T-boned us.
right to the
Man.
side.
And,
I was more worried about
So
our
what
tour.
happened? What legally happened after that?
It's totally their
Still
fault.
ongoing right now.
Really?
Oh, really?
But yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't our fault.
Was
No
this
one's
this year
arguing
that it happened?
It was
It was
last year.
about-
Last year.
Well, yeah,
So
it was
whatever
like
company
7
he
months
worked
ago.
for
Yeah.
is in deep shit.
Hardwoods.
June 13th.
We won't say any names,
June
but it was a
13th.
lumber company.
He just said the name.
He said
I
part
just
of
said
it.
lumber.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You said hardwoods.
We can edit that out.
Battering rams.
No, we didn't give anything
Incorporated.
Yeah. Wow.
They warned us that we'd spill secrets.
Yeah.
Overtiredrivers.com.
Yeah. Jeez, that's ridiculous.
No, none of us were
So-
retired. We were very fresh. First thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, right? Because I
I was
expected
just-
the story was going to be that a tractor trailer drifted into your lane on the highway or something.
No.
Not
This is
like
what's happened to
straight up
me.
just drove right
Straight
into
up
you.
just drove right
And
in.
we
Yeah.
had all these great plans, man.
We
We were
had
supposed to meet with.
awesome tour ahead of us.
Do y'all know
Otherwise-
Jim Scott, the producer?
I know that name, but
He did.
Yeah.
He worked on Wildflowers.
Oh, yeah,
He
okay, that's
did
right.
Sky Blue Sky with Wilco.
Okay.
And all that
Yeah.
stuff. He's a good pal of ours, and we were going to hang out with him.
Man.
We were gonna get introduced to a bunch of suits and all that stuff.
Right.
And
And just our first
we had an
West Coast
Airbnb set up, and
Yeah.
people
Man.
flew out there to meet us. Our booking agent was
Oh,
there,
man.
ready to party. And
Oh yeah, he was meeting us out there.
Sucked.
I forgot about that.
So all in all, I think we missed like 20 something shows.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, it was more. Well, the month after was more about injuries, but then it also took us a while to get a new van. We couldn't
Right.
go anywhere. We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Their insurance company had to get you guys a new van, right?
No.
No, we
What?
had
It
to.
took forever.
It took so long. We had to get a loan to get our new
People
van
are
at
so
first.
dumb. Like, if everybody was as bad at their jobs
As
as these
insurance.
people were, we'd be the worst band.
Yeah,
ever.
we'd be terrible.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
yeah,
ridiculous.
our first couple of shows back, we actually had to rent a minivan.
That
to
thing,
drive,
I have to
like-
say though, that thing had a banging stereo.
Yeah,
system.
I
Really?
want
It
a
was amazing.
minivan.
So it was
Yeah.
one of the Chrysler Town and Countries.
sick.
Great.
Oh,
Zero
yeah, I've been in one of
swears
those
by the
before.
minivan.
We
Yeah.
barely
They're
fit our
great.
gear in it, and we
Dude.
couldn't really bring any merch to the shows. But
I'll never make fun of
They
it.
always talk
It
about
was
how like
fun.
they don't get pulled over, they don't get in any trouble because it's a minivan.
it's a minivan.
You're not expecting a band to be in a minivan.
No.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a big white van with a trailer, you're a target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you always get pulled over. You always get searched when you get pulled over.
Right.
Has
But
that,
in a
you guys-
minivan,
I hope the Sprinter
No.
is gonna be.
No.
you guys have never been searched?
No.
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 Well, we've been pulled over, but never searched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never had
real.
anything
I was saying, I think we just got to be really careful when we pull out of Colorado because I feel like they're like gunning for that.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Here-
Wait
here's
at
the
the
key.
borders for fans to come out.
Here's the key. If you have something, keep it on you. don't have it loose in the van.
Yeah. That's
because if you have it loose in the van, you all get in trouble. If you have it on you, you get in trouble.
All right, we'll give it all to Jorge.
Yeah.
Meaning like
he's not in here right now. He doesn't know what we're saying, right?
Meaning like, he can't hear us. He's not in the room.
No, let's just put it on Nora.
Yeah.
Yeah, just seriously.
Yeah.
She's got a problem.
But like if it's in a backpack loose in the van, if it's not in your pocket, everybody in the van gets in trouble.
Like one person couldn't just
No. They'll just be like, oh, it's everybody. Yeah. This happened in an old band that I was in where we had to make the one of the dudes was just like, hey man, there's gonna be weed everywhere. Don't worry about it. And he was like, no, I got to bring this with me. We're going on tour for a really long time, and he brought like a half ounce of weed with him. I was just like, dude, that is fucking ridiculous. And we were all
everywhere you go, people are going to be giving it to you.
Yeah, we were all like,
all your shows.
especially the band that we were in. And I was just like, no. And then finally, it was like, okay, look, if you're gonna like quit the band, if you can't bring it with you, then it's in your pocket the whole time. And he was
you take the blame.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, not only for that person, but if one of you goes to jail, then the other ones can get you out. If you're all in jail,
if you're all in jail, it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah. Your dog is not going to get out of jail, no matter how sweet that dog is. I don't think it has the skills.
Where would Nora go if we all were in jail for a day?
So that's a tip.
Thank you.
We'll what do you know? Not that we ever have done drugs before, though.
I only smoke meth, so
yeah.
So you're fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. That doesn't really do much to you.
Yeah.
No. I think people
That's
are
not
really
illegal
cool with that nowadays anyway. Yeah.
It's a popular
We've really
TV
warmed
show
to math.
about it.
All right. Do you?
I was just. There's a couple of things we always talk about. When you guys are on the road, are there any particular restaurants or types of food that you like to visit whenever you're on the road?
I asked Hannah what her favorite sandwich was last night. What did you say? The place you like to eat?
Skippers.
Oh, yeah. There's a really good grouper Reuben in Tampa.
Oh, where at in Tampa?
At a place called Skippers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
When in Tampa, try.
Yeah.
When in Tampa, but the key is, you only eat seafood on the coast. We're from an island, so we definitely stick to only coastal seafood.
Down by the beach.
Definitely eat healthy though. None of us eat like Chick-fil-A or anything.
We're also 3 of us are vegetarian, so we're trying to kind of push everybody else towards that a little bit. And I know.
I'd say if you're ever gonna feed a band, remember that most people give them pizza. So
and barbecue.
So try to make them some veggies or something.
Yeah.
But if it's me, if it's me, it can be pizza though. It's okay.
Yeah, I love pizza.
We pretty much fuel this entire factory off
operation
pizza.
is run on pizza. All the records are made of pizza.
Incredible.
It's the perfect food.
Well, he's a vegetarian too, so you always have to.
But I'm like the worst. I'm a cheese pizza and Morningstar Farms vegetarian. So I just eat.
I'm a cheesetarian.
Yeah.
Well, my brother lived in Tampa, so I know the place you're talking about.
Oh, you do? Yeah. That's good.
Are you talking specific restaurants?
Yeah.
Or towns that have good food.
We really like.
I always feel like half of touring is eating.
It is.
Like the restaurants, like there will be places where we would book shows in that town specifically because of a restaurant in that town that we want to go.
What's the place in Asheville that we always
Chai Pani.
Chai Pani in Asheville.
This Indian
it's
restaurant.
a little bit more expensive, but it's so
It's amazing.
We ate another Indian place the other night. Everybody liked it, and then except for me, it was too spicy for me. But it was authentic and good.
What's the place in Atlanta that everybody goes to? It's the vegetarian place. Soul Veg.
Maybe.
Is it like Soul Veg?
Yeah.
Is it based off that? It's like Sound of Music.
I don't know, but it's like Soul Veg. It's like a vegetarian restaurant. There's 2 of them in Atlanta. And before I lived in Georgia, we would always go there every time we toured. Because I've been in bands, all the bands I've been in, there's been at least half vegetarians. So.
Well, where should we eat here?
What's the Athens place that's so good?
The Grit?
Yeah, that place. I like that place.
My buddy.
It's all vegetarian. I don't know how much health food it is.
No, it's not healthy.
But it's basically a vegetarian diner. It's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
My friend Garrett used to work there.
Oh, yeah?
Like, he did that. He played with Mothers, or he's playing with Mothers now, and they just moved up to.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. And he worked there forever, and he was actually like one of the cooks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Actually, Matt, who works here, who's my brother, and Bill, who you met, who works here, they both used to work at the Grit before this too. So.
And
work at the Grit.
We also went to high school together, so it's
really,
like a really small world. And then we're playing in Philly soon on the 2nd. He's gonna come hang out.
Cool. That's awesome.
We always hang out when we go up there.
Yeah. So have you guys ever had anything? So we've talked about, I assume, the worst thing that's ever happened to you on tour, right? I assume that
that is
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
that's the worst.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
So what would you say the other end of the spectrum to lighten it up a little bit? The best thing that's at the highest point you've ever had on tour.
Like Callahan's. Or
Highest point?
Grey Eagle.
Yeah.
Grey Eagle.
Theater.
I love Grey Eagle.
Georgia Theater.
That's a great
Georgia
venue.
Theater. Yeah, Grey Eagle is so much fun, and that restaurant that is like a part of it is amazing.
Where is this place?
Asheville.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine owns a record store there,
nice.
Harvest.
I've
Who used to
heard
be
of that
my old band, the Cadets. Mark Capon.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love Asheville.
I think my highlight was we went out and did our first West Coast run last year, and we played Cabo Del Mar in San Diego, and it was on the same day as Tom Petty. And so we played, and then like 3 hours later, I got to watch him play. And that was,
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, that was my last time seeing him.
Wow.
You were on a poster with Tom.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
I got to be on the same lineup as Tom Petty,
Yeah.
so
Oh, wow.
that was definitely the
That
highlight.
is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks later.
Especially
I think
little
we
Florida
did the
boy.
timing, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's from Gainesville.
Awesome.
Mhm. We just played there.
Playing Gainesville?
Yeah,
Where'd
we
you play in
did
Gainesville?
The High Dive.
Yeah,
Ironically
High Dive.
enough.
We've been
High Dive
emailing
was
them
at
for
High Dive.
years, like, isn't this
You're
funny?
like, come on, guys. they
That's
were
funny.
finally like, fine.
It used to be
okay,
called
we'll
the
book
Covered Dish, and then it was called Common
Yeah.
Grounds, and now it's called High Dive.
Oh, that's changed over
Yeah.
the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Like the
someone
Manor
talk about
Asher Man
Swash.
live album was recorded there when it was called the Covered Dish.
That was actually
Yeah.
one of my favorite, like sound-wise, one of my favorites so far.
That place has been there for
At least
forever.
listening
It's been a
to the
venue
album.
for forever. It's changed names, but I've seen so many good bands there.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's a High Dive in Denver too.
There is. I
There's
played the High
actually
Dive in
a lot
Denver.
of them. I kept accidentally
It's
tagging
a lot
them.
smaller, but it's a good
Okay.
place.
We
I
also
know, it's
played
so
this
hard
place called
on
Purple
Facebook.
Fiddle that was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Where's
that's
that?
So
Thomas.
Thomas, West Virginia. It was really bizarre, and it's hooked up to a hostel. And we're like,
Oh, that's cool.
This is gonna be a really weird gig. And then we started playing, and all these people flooded in out of nowhere.
Well, no,
There
they
was
were there. Like
200 people.
we went upstairs to just take a nap at the hostel, and then we're like, all right, we'll come down when it's time to play. It'll be pretty cool, I guess. And then we get down there, and it's full. Like there's
Whoa.
people, and they're all waiting. Like, are you guys gonna play? It was like we were like, fuck yeah, we're gonna play. Like, it was so
That's
fun, and
awesome.
like the crowd was so into it. It was
That's
great.
really cool.
We had to play for like 2 hours.
It's
Whoa.
It was
it's
like
a-
2 hours of pure energy.
Damn.
It's so funny
That's
how
awesome.
people think that being on the road, you're always playing in front of people. Then you have nights, it's like one night it'll be where you're playing for 3 people and the other 2 bands canceled. Then the next night you're playing for 200 people or whatever.
Yeah.
Never know.
Very,
Yeah, we're so glad
fluctuates.
that if we had to go out, it wasn't after that show.
Oh my god!
Right.
If that was our
It
last
was
show,
like if that was our last show, that was just wherever we would have been after that, we would have just been looking down, and just been like,
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's why you couldn't have died. You had,
Yeah,
you had to
exactly.
get back and play some
Well,
good shows again.
we'll just put this out there. If you're gonna play that far away from home, like from South Carolina all the way to Arizona, probably have a local band on the bill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was like,
That's a good tip.
Yeah,
great
local on the
tip.
bill.
Hot
is
tip.
Don't just
good.
go play that by
Yeah.
yourself. It won't. There
And also-
will be 3 people there.
And there's I'll play with bands or whatever, and it'll be a touring band. They insist on playing last, and no one knows who they are. I'm like, all right, you can play last if you want, but it's not that great of an idea. You probably want the local band playing after you,
So that
because
people
otherwise,
stay.
yeah,
Yeah.
'cause otherwise, like people come out and see their friend's band and then leave. And that's happened to me
Right,
so many
yeah.
times on the road.
If it's like your first time playing that city, you definitely want to
yeah,
open it.
yeah.
Make sure the people are there to see you.
Yeah.
It's shocking how many people will go in, pay $5, see their friends, and then leave.
Yeah.
So you paid $5, you're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't you stay for another
Don't you
hour?
want to see the whole show?
Yeah. You might
Money's
find your
worth.
new favorite band. You don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people discover us, not even knowing that what was gonna happen. They'll be like, "Whoa! I just
Yeah.
saw this show randomly today.
Yeah.
I came and like you guys are awesome."
Dude, we'll open up and they're just like, we expected you guys to suck.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
They'll
isn't
tell
it?
us that.
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
just like, oh.
Yeah, like, so I guess we
Usually
didn't then?
opening
I
bands
didn't-
suck. I don't
How do I take
know.
that?
That's really funny.
But this tour has been really great. Like, just the sibling rivalry thing. I don't know. It has a lot of power around it. It's very personal. People get a glimpse into like Luke and Hannah's life a little bit.
Do they actually
People
fight on
connect
stage
with
between
that.
bands?
I only
No.
hit him with my guitar some nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
A little bit
yeah.
of fighting.
It's an expensive fight.
During the changeover
The
between
Tom
the bands.
Anderson duel.
That's right.
But
Have
Yeah.
you guys been ever put in a situation that, other than getting in the van wreck, or that you were like, like stay in someone's house that was weird, stay someplace that was
dude.
weird,
So
or ended up in a situation that you're like, how the fuck did we get here? And how are we going to get out? And are we going to survive this?
Have you found that when you go, so one of the big like alarm inducing moments is when you get to a house and they're like, you're welcome to stay at our house, but then they're not there.
Yeah.
Home
And
yet?
you know
that's
that later
fun.
when they come home, they're going to be probably drunk.
Right.
And probably with a girl or some woman.
Yeah.
And
It will be
yeah.
awkward.
You
it's
might hear
always
things you don't
terrible.
wanna hear.
And
Yeah.
they I feel like they like get off on it. They're,
Oh yeah, some
"Oh,
people
there's
definitely
people
do.
in my house, like
Just with
I mean-
the sheer amount of times it's happened, now
Right.
I think there are some people who
It has to be a
invite
thing.
bands
It's
to
They
stay
like
with
an
them
audience.
just
It's
so that
infuriating.
you can listen to them do it.
Dude, yeah, there was a time.
You guys performed for them earlier, so they're just
Right, they're trying to
Right.
perform for you now. Yeah.
Returning the
Returning
favor.
favor, I guess.
There was a
Just
time
fair.
That's not fair.
whenever gospel music was on tour, and we played Athens, and there was this band. I don't know if they played with us or not. There's a guy from this band. I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
And we ended up half of
me,
I stayed with either. I don't think I stayed with you. I might have stayed with Sarah McDonald at the time, but the rest of the band stayed at this house. And this guy, we had 2 women in the band with us. One was the merch person, and one was in the band. And this guy, and the funny thing is, it's the house that Krista lives in now.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy lived there and was trying really hard to get Ray and Christina to have a 3-way with him.
Okay.
And that was apparently the reason he wanted all of us to stay there. So he was trying really hard. Like,
That was his goal.
Yeah.
like he was like, no, y'all can take my bed. And they thought he was going to sleep somewhere else. And so
like,
they
"No,
went and got in his
I'll
bed.
be in it."
And as they're going to sleep,
There too.
Yeah.
as they're going to sleep, he comes and
Plops down
crawls
right
in the
between
bed.
them.
And he was on the other side, and they're like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever, he's over there. And then he, like, rolls over in between the 2 of them and starts trying to kiss Ray.
Oh, man.
And they're like, no, we got to go.
Hannah,
We're
let's
leaving.
make sure that doesn't happen to
Yeah.
us. okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if someone
That's-
offers us
yeah,
their
that's
bed.
rough.
I've never felt more safe on any tour until I started touring with these guys.
Yeah.
Because weird stuff like that really does.
We had
Oh,
one
yeah.
night that I'll just try to condense it real fast.
No, you don't have to condense it.
Well, we just did another podcast and we talked about it a
All right,
lot.
that's fine.
Talked
Yeah,
about
it
it for a while.
But it's just one of those stories that has to be, you know.
Yeah.
So we got to Knoxville. We're playing
Preservation Pub.
It's one of my favorite cities in the entire country.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of the craziest cities I've
Yeah.
ever been to.
Yeah.
He's saying no. I'm with you.
I'm with, yeah.
See, I've just had good experiences there. Every time I played there, it's always been good experiences.
I haven't
that's
been there
awesome.
since the World's Fair.
So we get there.
honestly.
This happens all in the span of one night. We get there. There's people protesting outside of the club with like guns and stuff, doing something, and we're like, "Oh, okay, that's weird." We load in. There's a genie there in the wall. Do you know the genie in the wall?
What?
There's like a live genie that like says he's a genie and
Yeah.
wears gold
real
bangles.
There's like this tiny spot carved
Didn't we
out of
watch a
the
necklace?
He
brick
rents
wall.
out
He
this
stands
little
in there.
cove,
Yeah.
and he
like,
stands in there and reads you your fortune, whatever.
Very kind person.
Okay.
you-
Where is this?
So that was
Knoxville?
there in Knoxville.
Okay.
So
Is this
he-
in like Old City, like downtown?
Preservation Pub.
Press
yeah.
Pub? It's inside
It's
Press
like-
Pub.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's there, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. There's a genie, and then
Yeah.
we take
You know,
Nora-
like there is a club.
Mary Alice and I take Nora on a walk, and we're walking down past all those shops and everything to like the little river walk,
Mm-hmm.
and we see all these kids running, and they like blow by us, and I was like, oh, cool, they're on a rad scavenger hunt. This is really awesome. What a cool town.
Your first thought was going to a scavenger hunt?
Yeah. I was like,
They were young
because there was like
kids, they
60 kids.
Liz, like,
I was
I got as much kids. Must be a scavenger
gaggle
hunt.
of children.
But then they
I
all,
love that movie, Midnight Madness.
but then they all jump into this river thing and they just start beating the shit out of each other.
In the river.
In the river thing, there's just like
River Fight
cell
Club.
phones are firing and like weave and stuff, and there's just a big mixture of kids, just every
It was
race,
insane.
just beating the shit out of each other.
In the water.
I don't
Yeah,
know what it was.
in the water,
like,
and
maybe it
there's
was
this
like a
old
school
lady
trip and they all
just
got in a
yelling at them
Yeah.
from on top of the hill. She was there, and she was just yelling at all these kids.
Did this
Like-
happen, or did the genie just tell you about this?
No, that's not
This
happening.
actually happened.
The genie blew like
The
some
genie-
weird dust.
The genie
Yeah.
told
In your
us
face?
It was gonna happen.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is just the beginning, though.
Okay,
This is
all right.
not-
All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is just the beginning.
This is why I love Knoxville.
Yeah. So we're walking around after all that stuff happens. The cops come and the kids are like, "Oh, let's scoot," and they all get out of there. Scoot, it's the fuzz.
Yeah,
And then Mary
as
Alice
kids
and
say
I
these days.
are walking around and we see like all these cell phones. They just like left all their shit. They just dropped all their stuff and ran. So I was like, I picked up an iPhone and I really thought about taking it. It was like a brand new one, but I just put it back.
Yeah.
And
That
then
was probably nice.
I mean, having a teenager right now, like to leave their cell phones.
I know.
I mean, that's like
They were scared.
that's like their
Yeah.
life. Their entire life is that cell phone.
Isn't it? It's bizarre. But anyways, so there's all this stuff in the river, and then we're like, okay, we better go back. So we play the show. I think it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a decent show.
Yeah,
We get
drinking
done.
crowd.
We're packing
Yeah.
up, and then I see somebody just sitting in our van.
Oh.
Just sitting in
Okay.
our van. There's this
Sure.
girl.
It was the
Just,
genie.
no,
The front passenger seat.
the girl is just sitting in our van.
I've never heard
this.
this.
This random girl is just sitting in our
Well,
van,
it was
and
like
a guy's
while we
sitting
were-
on a bench. And so we go up to the girl and we're like, "You need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Why are you in our
Mary
van?"
Alice told her to get the fuck out.
It's not your van.
I did. I told
And
her
then-
to get the fuck out.
And
of
then
my
this guy's just like,
Coming in
"Hey,
hot.
she's cold. She's
He's
cold.
like, "What's
Oh
your
my God.
problem?
What's
She's
your
cold."
problem?"
I was like,
You're like, our problem is
well,
that's
it was
our
unlocked
big
because
car.
we were like loading out, and
Yeah,
I
we
was,
didn't
I was
see
standing
her.
there watching the van, but I was near the van, and I like got Nora to go pee on some grass nearby, and I walked back over, and we see her like in there, and I was like, Luke, is she inside the van? Like,
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so I
so
saw
she's
them
in the
kind of
van.
lurking near the van for a while, like acting like they wanted to talk to us, but then not really talking, like kind of looking away when I looked at them, and I was like, what are they
Just
doing?
trying to sneak into the van.
Why did they just walk
Come
home?
to find out, they were planning
suck.
this. They were like, he's probably like, all right, gonna hop in there, like
Just get in the random
they were-
white van.
Yeah.
They were waiting on a.
Because trust
on
me,
a
it's way
Uber.
warmer than it is outside.
And like he was making you guys feel like you're the weird ones. Like,
Yeah.
dude, she's
Yeah.
cold. What?
Yeah.
What's
Quit being assholes.
But they, were,
Yeah.
they were just waiting on a cab to get there, and she was cold while they were waiting. That's why.
So we
Alright.
pack up all our stuff, and then we don't know who to stay with, but our buddy was
The
there.
genie.
No, not the genie.
sure hope the genie
but a
comes
friend
back
of the
to the
genies
story.
Alright.
was there, and he used to have an Airbnb that was really nice and very cool. But now he lives in kind of like a less cool house, and it's right next to a frat house.
Ah.
There's all these kids outside partying. He's
Yeah.
like, you can still stay with me. So Mary Alice gets out of the van. We're all getting our stuff, and she walks in the house, and then she walks out really quick, and she's like, I don't think that's the house. There's like a really old man in there. and we're like, well, that's the address. And then our buddy comes and he's like, yeah, that is the house. So we go in, and there's this
You have to babysit my
this old
grandfather.
man is his roommate.
mid 70s, like 6'5" or 7 old man, so drunk, and we
didn't
come
expect
in
that.
and we just figure that he's got a lazy boy, and that's his bed is in the living room.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure he lives.
He didn't have a room.
And he
Well,
offered
it is
us,
called the living room.
yeah, he offered us.
Touche.
He's like, oh,
got me.
what's the sports team?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. I guess Arkansas was having a bad year, so this trucker had a surplus of gummy hogs.
Of what?
Oh,
Gummy hogs, this like team's
The-
gummy bears.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like gummy bears.
And he's
shaped
got
in a
bags of
mascot.
them. He's
Okay.
like, I was outside a gas station, this trucker guy just gave me these gummy hogs. So I would love to offer y'all some gummy hogs.
I want some gummy hogs.
Gummy
yeah.
hogs.
Did you take them?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
ate some.
I mean,
gummy
if
hogs.
someone
No,
like
they
that offers you gummy hogs, you kind of have to take
Yeah,
them.
I mean,
So-
he
They were good.
literally had
And then
a
they
huge
saw the
box
genie
of-
again.
So Kevin and Julius, they're kind of sketched out, and Kevin sent me a text
Kevin was
while we're in
texting
the
all
house.
of
He's like,
us.
I'm not
He's
feeling
like,
this.
let's go.
So they go in the one
Yeah, I wanted
room
to
that's
leave.
available, and they lock the door. And
Solid
Jorge,
plan
our
from-
tour manager, was just like, all right, well, I'm just going to sleep in the living room with this weird old guy while he watches
Why
spaghetti
not?
westerns and sci-fi.
Just cuddle up on the lazy boy with him.
Eat some gummy hogs,
He
have a
never-
good
no,
time.
Absolutely, man.
He never
Yeah.
turned the TV off the whole night.
Mary
Really?
Alice and
Yeah.
Just
I
let it
were
roll.
like, we're not going to stay in here, so we'll go in the van. And I just want to make sure everything was cool in the van. So we spend the night in the van, and then
Always a comfortable
at
choice.
Yeah.
6:30, 7 in the morning, all of a sudden we hear this, Well, I don't know why I came here tonight.
Oh my God.
I got the feeling that something
It's
ain't
live.
right. And it's live, and it's this dude had set up, constructed an entire stage outside our van.
The old guy.
Tent
No,
open,
not the old guy.
backing tracks going.
This random guy backing tracks just playing
Little
solos.
stage.
Was this the guy you stayed with?
No.
Or some other random dude?
Some other random guy had set up an entire stage, and then we realized that we're parked on a street, and they had blocked off the whole street for a marathon. So all these people are running through while we're trying to sleep,
my
and
God.
there's
To the
just
sound
hundreds
of,
of
this guy
people running.
playing, and,
Playing
like,
stuck in the
people
middle with you.
cheering, and we're like, what?
So that was our time in Knoxville.
Meanwhile,
that
we probably
one-
didn't get to bed till like, or we didn't
Exactly.
get to
Why don't you like
sleep in the
Knoxville?
van.
Yeah.
Gets a van seat as well.
It's
Yeah.
like 3 a.m. when we actually maybe
Oh
went
my
to sleep.
God.
It's like a
So-
perfect, like,
Very confusing.
surrealist film or something.
Yeah.
It was
Very
amazing.
We just kind of drove away from Knoxville, like
We didn't
really,
even say bye to,
Yeah, we
to
just-
our friend. We were just
Well, he
like,
was
Mary
so
Alice came in
asleep,
and was
we
like,
just
we're
got
getting the
out
fuck out of
there.
here.
Yeah.
Get your shit.
Yeah.
Feel like he's not our friend anymore. We don't need to say goodbye.
It was like
Yeah.
8 in the morning. We're
No,
like,
he's
we're
an awesome
going.
that
He's
story's
awesome.
almost so good that we have like forgotten about the first one, our first tour when we all
the
were
one
sleeping
where-
on the floor.
Oh no.
We slept on the floor. We stayed with
I don't
a
wanna-
friend. We won't say a name. We stayed with a friend, and his house was really, really dirty, and it was really, really cold outside. And
4 or 5 dogs.
Just, like,
he wouldn't
slept on the
He didn't have the
floor.
heat on. He just it was. You could see your breath
I
inside,
thought it was gonna
and we
be-
were like, "Why are we even here?" Like, and he was
And
like,
it's
"Guys,
depressing
the
when that
one
happens
thing
too,
you
isn't it?
can't
'Cause
do."
you're like-
He's like, "Do not let the cat out."
Who let
And
the
then-
got out?
I think like Kevin
screen
walked
was
outside,
busted and
didn't
Kevin
realize
didn't know.
the
The
screen was
screen was
broken. The
flat.
cat just goes
Oh.
bloop and jumps out. So we spent like an hour trying to find the cat
And
in
it's
the woods.
freezing cold. It's in Pennsylvania in
Oh
the
my
mountains,
God.
and we're just searching for this cat. And then Kevin finds it, and we're just like, ah, and grabs it.
So we had a cat hunt before
Yeah,
we could even
we had
go
a cat hunt,
to sleep.
and then we get in there and we realize the heat's not on, and we're like, all right, well, let's just
It's
bundle
probably
up
colder
together.
inside than it is outside.
Exactly.
Should have just stayed in the van.
So we bundle up, and then at 5:30 in the morning or something, I wake up and
to
I
the
woke
sound
up,
of my teeth.
your teeth chattering
Oh my
in
God.
my ear, and then I realized like we're all just dying, and,
Yeah.
and we have to get out of here. So I was just like, for some reason I was just so pissed. I was just like, everybody get up, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he just like yelled, like woke us
And
all
I just
up.
like was throwing all of our stuff in the van, and I was just pissed. It's like we could have stayed in a hotel. We would stay in
we
this
coulda
like
just-
dog.
That is the word. You know, it's one
Piss
thing when you
soaked
don't have
floor.
money and you can't stay in a
Yeah.
hotel, but one of those nights where you do, and you're like, oh, maybe
We-
tonight should be a hotel night, and the person's
Yeah.
like, no, stay with
No,
me.
no,
It'll be
you stay
great.
with me.
You know.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna
We-
be awesome. We'll
we
have a
have-
blast.
Yeah, we have a system now. It's
Yeah.
like, we go in and like if it's really sketching us out, we'll all like secretly text each other like we're out, and then one of us will go to the person's whose house it is, and we'll be like, oh, we just realized the club was comping one of our hotel rooms. So
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
and then we leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
you've
one.
gotta
That is a
do-
good way to
dude,
do
you
it.
don't want me to stay up till 4 in the morning playing a classical acoustic song?
Yeah.
Oh my
oh,
god.
Man. Oh yeah, we stayed
That
with
was
this
real.
guy. It was actually he was super
Dude,
nice, and
you
he
guys
was
are
really
getting
good
all
at
of our
guitar. He played like
weird
really
tour
good
stories.
classical guitar, but I think it was a couch surfing guy we met, and so we are all literally just gotten all of our sleeping gear down on the floor. We're all in the living room together, like about to go to sleep, and he's like, "I'm going to play you a song."
It was 3 in the
Oh.
morning. It
And
was
he-
3.
It was 3 a.m.
Wow.
And we were just like, oh, cool, man, sweet.
Thanks.
And he just starts playing these songs. He plays like 3 5-minute long songs. Julius is like totally asleep, like, just,
I set up a cot and I was like
It was actually really nice.
right next to him.
Soothing.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
like
one of
a
those things where
lullaby.
people don't understand. They think you're a band and you're on the road and you want to party.
right.
Yeah.
but you're
You know
like,
what I mean? It's like,
"No, I'm
oh, come back to
tired."
my house. We're gonna party. And it's like, no, dude, we want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
We've been on the we're on the road half of the day. Like we
we're
gotta
tired.
drive tomorrow.
We woke up
Yeah.
at 9, drove 5 hours, played the show, and then like loaded in, loaded out, like sound
It's 3
check.
a.m. now.
So
Let's
what are your greatest highlight tour
Oh,
stories?
man.
I'm sure you all have great ones.
Yeah, I mean, we've done. We've probably told some of them before, but I'm trying to think of if there's anything that I haven't told before.
Yeah, I don't know.
But with staying with people, there's always like so one of the bands I was in that toured the most was called The Agenda, and it was sort of like a garage punk band, and the singer was like pretty aggressive, like jumped off the stage, like Stooges hung on the ceiling, that kind of stuff. So people would offer us a place to stay, and then they would see us play. and then the excuses would start to happen.
Oh,
And
no.
they'd be like, yeah, no, it's cool, you can stay with me, it's no problem. My roommate's really sick though, so you just gotta be careful. Like they're really sick, and I'm not gonna be there later.
Super contagious.
And there's about 5 feet. You can all sleep like a 5 foot square. You can all
Yeah,
sleep
like they
in.
start making up excuses, and it's like, okay, I see what happened here, you know. And
We're not
would
that
happen.
crazy
Yeah.
when we get back to the hotel.
It was like when we played. Yeah,
It's
well,
a
that was the other
show.
thing too. Is it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, we played for like 25 minutes, and everybody was completely hammered the whole time. It was just everything was just right there on stage, and then that was it. After that, we were all like, you know. But yeah, so
I think mine. I don't think I've told the story. I'm not sure it's a highlight, but it was kind of funny. So I was in this band called Gospel Music that we were on the label Co Rock Stars, and
wow.
it's the bassist from that band Black Kids.
Oh, I like that band.
I'm in a band with the lead singer of Black Kids here in town.
Sweet.
Called Blood
Yeah,
Bangs.
I'm a big fan of it.
But so Owen, the bassist from Black Kids, was the lead singer of Gospel Music, and we were up in Portland, and Portia from Kill Rock Stars was there to see us. She hadn't seen us yet. We'd had a really rough tour. Like this was the last tour. Actually, it ended up being the last tour. We didn't tour again after this. It was a rough tour, and at the time I was blaming Owen, but in retrospect,
it was your fault, wasn't it?
we just all weren't getting along. It was just really bad. It was a 2-month-long tour, which was way too long. And
How long were you guys on tour for?
3
4.
and a half.
Yeah.
well,
That'd
I
be
mean,
on
we
the
were all
agenda, I was
older at
trying-
that point, and like everyone was so like that album got number 17 on MTV's top 20 albums of the year. So we were expecting the tour to be good,
Yeah.
and it was not good. Nobody cared. Nobody, like we were playing for like 3 people, 10 people, whatever.
Sounds
you
like
know?
Spotify like playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody cared, and so he was getting frustrated. Because he was getting frustrated, we were all getting frustrated, and so we were playing for Portia. And at that point, we were all frustrated at each other, and it like the band had become 2 factions. There was like Owen's girlfriend was in the band, Madeline. It was him and Madeline on one side, me, Ray, and Christina on the other side, and then the bassist.
On his own island.
Adam was just kind of swinging back and forth between us, and
He should have
so
met those people in
Ray,
Athens,
Christina,
like,
and I decided that we had met with Portia. I'm still friends with Portia. We get along well, and we got along with her well. And Owen really wanted us to. We were being an asshole. Owen really wanted us to have a really good show, so we went and bought smoke bombs
Oh God.
and decided that we were not a punk band. We were like Magnetic Fields, Bell and Sebastian,
Whoa.
really
Yeah, yeah.
soft twee band, you know. And so we went and bought smoke bombs and decided that since Portia was there, we were going to be a punk band that night, and decided that we were just going to go nuts. And I was kicking my drum set over and throwing stuff. And Christina, Ray's girlfriend, who was the merch person, decided that was like while I was doing that was the time she's going to start some smoke bombs up onto the stage. This is a closed-in club, so the club just filled up with smoke. And I get outside, and Owen's outside, just so upset that he's crying because
Because y'all ruined the show for
we
him.
ruined the show, but not only the show with Portia
Yeah.
from Co Rock Stars.
Did you get dropped that night too?
No, the funny thing is Portia came up to me afterwards like, "That's one of the best shows I've ever seen."
Isn't it obvious how I feel for you? Or have I not made it clear? Remember always, our love is everything. And I was nothing till you appeared.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kill Rock Stars was Elliot Smith was on.
Yeah, and Keeney Kill.
Yeah.
Who else
Slater
is on
Kinney.
tour? Slater Kinney.
Wow,
Lots of stuff.
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Man, I haven't thought about these bands in a little while.
Yeah.
I love all those bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some good stuff. Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I told that I always try to be sensitive towards Owen, but I think he would think it was funny now.
We'll never.
That was
know
a terrible
unless he
tour, though.
Unless he tells us.
It's probably my fault. In the end,
Well,
it was probably my
terrible
fault.
Like I said.
Some of the worst things that happened to us are very funny now. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
post rec in the hotel for 3 nights is the most funny thing you'll ever see.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
Luke,
yeah.
like Luke, I'm just like dead asleep, and Luke just comes up. He's like, "Are you all right?" yeah,
Wake
dude,
up,
but
man, wake up.
body hurts.
The
I'm
hotel
not dead.
lobby had like you could get 1 free beer each night, like
Was this
like
a Drury
happy
Inn?
hour, and we were all like,
No.
No.
1 beer, that can't be that bad.
And then we read our medication. We're like,
And
"Oh,
we're
I'll
like,
die."
No.
Still have
I
them.
think Clay maybe did it.
I drank one anyways.
Well, when we
Yeah.
first got there to check in, we were like Clay was still in his hospital gown.
Oh man, that was a
I had
sight.
bandages all over my
Oh my
face
God.
and had like dried blood
And
running
you
down
had a
my
broken
face.
hip, right?
Crutches.
Yeah, we were both
okay.
on crutches.
And you were in
Yeah.
a wheelchair.
Oh, I was in a
You're in the
wheelchair.
wheelchair.
and we were all just like had bandages, and they made us wait. They're like, for some reason, there's credit cards. And one of our friends,
Oh my God.
my dad's friends, got the room for us. He's like, for some reason, this credit card's not going through, so I'm gonna have to run some stuff. And I was just like,
Look at us.
Yeah.
Let us.
Can you
You
just
run
read
it, but
the
just
room?
let us go and lay down.
Yeah.
Dying
dude, it was
here. We're
crazy.
literally almost dead.
That's
Can you
ridiculous.
just give us? I need to lay in a bed.
Oh man.
Luke almost got into
know.
another accident on the Uber ride to check out Nora.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
So right after the wreck, I got to the hospital, made sure she was okay, and I was like, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get Nora checked out because I didn't want anything. weird.
Where was Nora?
Nora was in the van and
First
bench.
in Kevin's row, but she was buckled in.
Right, but I mean, like, where was
Where
she
did
being
you go after
kept?
the wreck?
She
with me.
chilled at the hospital.
She stayed with
okay.
us, and the hospital was really sweet and let her
That
in.
yeah, that's good.
So I took Nora immediately to the vet, and I took an Uber there. Or no, the transport team took us there.
That's right.
The firefighters. They took me to the vet. I got Nora checked out, and when I walked in, there was all these people in the waiting room, and I hadn't cleaned anything up. So I had blood all over my face. I had glass all over me, and I was like, we just got in a wreck. Can you check my dog? And everyone was like, yeah, just let that guy
Like
go.
someone check him too.
Yeah.
Animal lovers.
Yeah,
the
they're
most
just like-
compassionate people.
And
Yeah.
they were just like, are you okay?
Right,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm fine, just
Whatever.
check my fucking dog.
Like, this is one of those mob movies where I can't go to a hospital, so I need a vet to take care of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Terminator.
Terminator. So they check out Nora, everything's cool. They give me like doggy downers for her later on when she's like
And you.
reliving
Doggy
the horror.
downers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I get an Uber, and the guy picks me up, and we're going, and he's like, "Man, are you okay?" and I was like,
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I'll be okay. And we got to talking, and he had seen our band in North Carolina.
Huh.
And
What? And he
moved
was in
to-
Arizona?
Moved to Phoenix.
Whoa.
And he's like, "Yeah, I've seen your band before, actually." And it was really bizarre. And then he's like talking to me like in the rearview mirror, you know,
Oh,
how
wow.
people do.
no.
Yeah.
And then we almost got sideswiped by this big dumb truck. And he like swerves and just barely misses it.
Oh
And I
my
was just
God.
like, and then we get, and right the last exit, right before we do, the person did the thing where they're like, oh, is that my exit? Is that my exit?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's my exit. And then
Yeah.
tried to go in front of the dude, and the dude had to slam on the brakes again.
Like, what were you thinking at that time? Like,
I just wanted to.
Like,
have you ever seen
Yeah,
the
you're
movie?
like, okay, apparently my
have you ever
number's
seen the
up.
movies where like
Like Final
the
Destination.
yeah, where
Yeah.
like the Grim Reaper doesn't actually get you, so
Yeah.
then they're after you for the rest of
For the
your
rest of
life.
your
That's
life
what it
until
felt like at that
That's,
point.
that's
Like,
what it felt like, and I was just.
gee, someone wants me dead.
Even when they got home, as soon as he got home from Arizona, they get back and Nora had like a flea infestation.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then,
yeah.
And then
Our
he's
house was infested with fleas.
like
Man.
the first thing, like
Never
wasn't
ends.
that like the first? You were only home for like an hour.
Yeah, I was
plague.
only home for an hour, and then I was freaking out and gave Nora a bath and tried to get in Mary Alice's car to go see her. I hadn't seen her yet since
I love this
everybody flew home. So I'm running out, and Nora's like soaking wet, and I had just given her a flea bath, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. And I run out of our house, and then I go to get in her car, and her car handle just breaks off.
Oh my God.
And I was just like standing there, and I just like wanted to like weep into Nora, and I was just.
Luke called me and told me all this, and I was like, what? Like, what are you doing?
What is
Why
happening?
Is that happening to you? I'm on drugs.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
So,
is amazing.
where can people find the two bands online? Like, what's the best way to find y'all's music and stuff? If people want to
Well,
look
we're
you
both
up.
on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually releasing new albums too.
One of them being pressed here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ours will be out March 2nd,
Yes.
and Hannah's will be out January 26th.
Mary
Nice.
Alice's birthday.
My
Very
birthday.
nice.
We're playing in DC that
It's a
night.
very selfish birthday present. I'm very sorry, Mary Alice.
For my birthday, I would like everyone to buy Hannah Wickland and the Stepping Stones new
Awesome.
album.
That's awesome.
All
That's
right.
really good.
Very
Actually,
cool.
I'll be
So,
in
yeah.
Jacksonville on your birthday. There's a festival that we're sponsoring down there.
What day is it?
26th.
Cool.
I'll be in Los Angeles
Nice.
Nice.
at a
Well,
convention.
go ahead and
LA.
stream the album in all
Yeah.
those different locations. It'll really help.
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Let's tell all
Awesome.
your friends.
I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you.
the music festival and be like, all right,
Hold on,
we're gonna stream
everybody.
this album.
Listening
Everybody.
party.
Yeah.
Then listen to it. Then you can go back to what you were doing.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
like the front of
man.
house speakers.
That being
Yeah,
said,
like who's got an 1/8" jack? I need to plug it in my
Let's do this.
Oh shit, my iPhone doesn't have the jack.
Yeah, just hold it up to the microphone.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're doing it, y'all.
Well,
yeah,
cool.
Spotify is the best way to stream, but if
Okay.
you want to, support the band at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
like you won't get
we're
any
in
money
cause.
from that.
We're
We've got
selling
the
it
High
before it's
Divers.
released.
Yeah, we have them for sale at our shows, both of us.
Really?
TheHighDivers.com if you want to pre-order or buy
What's
the
your
new album.
website?
And then
Okay.
HannahWickland.com.
Easy,
Cool.
see? Easy peasy.
Excellent. How do you spell that, by the way?
I was gonna spell it, but
You don't- you can't-
WICKLUND.
Okay.
A lot of
Not
people.
Wickland.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
think I'm living in like Wickland.
Right. But you're really living in Wickland.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's German.
excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of Load In, Load Out, a tour story podcast produced by me, Bill Fortenberry. Our hosts are Ryan Lewis and Cash Carter. Join us back here next time for more tour stories.